Yo, welcome back to the Nerds and Glasses podcast, your number one gaming podcast on YouTube. I am your host, Knowledge.
And I'm Javi. Just wanted to give a quick shout out real quick, guys, to our sponsors at Control Freaks.
Yeah, if you want to get 10% off on any Control Freak products, just use the code GOP and you'll get 10% off on ControlFreak.com. We use Control Freaks on our joysticks when we're playing first-person shooters to...
Mostly, yes.
Mostly.
I
haven't tried them really on other ones, but it makes your aim a lot better, especially if you're using, like on Call of Duty, if you're using ARs.
Yeah, for long. I'm not a big fan of the closer range ones because I don't use close range guns anyways.
Yeah. See, I wish I would have bought the smaller ones for the submachine guns, which is better. But either way, it helps your aim a lot. So try them out. They got a lot of other products over there too. Promo code GOP. But anyways, this week, a lot of controversy this week.
A lot of people complaining.
That's what's new. What's new in the gaming world? Complaining. But I think the most important story, which everybody's been talking about the past couple of days, because Batman just came out, is that the PC port in Batman sucks.
It's garbage.
It's terrible. Apparently, we don't have it ourselves.
Yeah.
I have it on the PS4, and you have it on the Xbox One.
As much as I love PC, it's just like it's not one of those games that I could buy it, but it's
and like this always happens to PC ports. Like it's almost like you should just get like the Game of the Year edition. Down the line or something where you get all
when
the
it's
free
like
DLC.
$5 on Steam.
But it's the problem has been that
you sold out too much. You're too deep.
Fucking sellout. I didn't want to cuss either. The problem has been that it wasn't maximized for the PC a lot. I know that even
it wasn't just that it wasn't maximized. It wasn't like they didn't know what they were doing. It seems like it's like granted they probably did try to work on it. Not anything away from the company, but it's just like they messed up really bad.
So what happened was Warner Brothers hired a separate company to port over the game to the PC, which is a common practice.
Advanced Warfare,
but usually it's for backwards.
Yes.
Compatibility, like not backwards, but I mean
older gen. Last gen.
So Advanced Warfare,
Mortal Kombat X, and Titanfall.
Yeah, Titanfall. Those are just 3 examples of where they hire a separate company to port the game over to a different console. And usually they'll work. Their main thing is they're gonna work on it for, let's say, PS4 and Xbox One, and then they'll port it over for something else. Now the problem is, people were getting frame stutters, people were getting freezes. The frame rate was locked at 30 frames. and like that's even if you had like a sick computer.
Yeah, so there's something just inherently wrong with the game.
Yeah,
and it wasn't. It was like if it was like you're trying to like it's fucking what is it called the word emulate it or something. It wasn't working properly.
Yeah, it was really bad, and there wasn't a lot of options even in the graphics section. It was really like an old school, just like do you want anti-aliasing? Yes or no? It wasn't like 2x, 8x, all these different. It's just like yes or no. What do you want? Like, do you want your texture quality on normal or low? I was like, well, I want it on high. No. You're not.
Those computers have exploded. When they
like no. There's normal or low. There's nothing else. And the big story about it though was that they actually pulled the game from the Steam store.
Yeah, so you cannot buy it as far as we know right now.
You cannot buy it right now. Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, Rocksteady is actually going to go back in and work on.
Yeah, that's what I've heard is that Rocksteady themselves are working on the port. Because, and the truth is, they should have done. If it were me, I think it would have been better for them to just delay it on PC. That happens all the time.
GTA.
Now. Yeah, just delay it on PC and make sure it's good. Look, the GTA release on PC was a success.
Granted, they added one of the greatest features of all time.
Yes, the Rockstar editor, baby. Let's go. But here's a couple questions I have for you, and let me know what you think. First, how much is this gonna affect the legacy of the game overall? Are people gonna forget about this 5 years down the line, or
The PC Master Race will not forget about this, you know?
The PC Master Race
the people that refuse that to play on console.
Yeah.
But how many console people even know there's problems on PC?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, as much as I like PC gaming, it doesn't fucking matter, you know?
Yeah, I read that. I think they sold on PC like 200,000.
Good amount.
Which is good, really good for a PC game, but I'm pretty sure on consoles they probably sold like a couple million, you know? So I don't know how much it's gonna affect it. I think overall the legacy will be fine because it's a good game, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But you know the PC people always have problems with this stuff.
Yeah, they had Assassin's Creed, all of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, Watch Dogs.
Oh god,
yeah,
that was bad.
So even the other Batmans had problems when they came out. You know, so
and there's one of those things people are like focusing so much on the cons, like, because I don't think there was ever like the video games before weren't made for like a lot of the big ones weren't made like they were either on console or they were on PC. You know, there wasn't too much of a mixture.
Yeah,
and now it's just one of those things like. As much as we hate to say it, it's like these companies want money, as much money as possible.
Yeah, well, who doesn't?
Right, exactly. And you know, consoles are the easiest way to move product.
Yeah. Because I mean, aside from just consoles are made to play games as opposed to PCs are not only made to play games.
They're made to do everything.
They're meant to do everything. It's also a lot easier to pirate the game on PC. Like you literally can't even pirate it right now on PS4 or Xbox One. It's just you can always pirate it on the PC. Granted, it is harder with all the DRM stuff, which is good for that way it doesn't get pirated. But people can still get around that. They still find a way to get around it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, eventually they'll get around the PlayStation and Xbox One.
Yeah. Now, do you think it's gonna hurt the bottom line for Warner Brothers?
That I do, because they're gonna have to get raw. I mean, they already paid a company to work on the game,
and it's shit.
Yeah, and
I wish I wanted to be I wish I can be in the room the day like the president at WB and they're like, we're getting a lot of complaints, about PC. I don't think it's working right. And like at that same time, they were having a meeting with that company, telling them how good of a job they did.
It's like, we gave you 5 hours to port this game.
I just wanted to be there when the president like fucking throws the table. It's just like, what the fuck is this shit?
And it sucks with that company. Like I swear, they probably weren't given a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like we need this released we're releasing this in a week.
Yeah.
You can start working on it the day before it comes out. But we need it by
this. I was like, okay. Like, what do you want us to do? It's just like no, but that company is probably like excommunicated too from ever porting anything ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least for Warner Brothers.
Because see, the other thing about it too is that this is the first big game that's come out after Steam's new refund policy.
That's true.
Now I wonder how many refunds they're probably getting. A lot of refunds because this is unprecedented. Like I can't remember one time that they've ever pulled a game.
I think I've heard of some. I haven't been a part of it, but I think I have heard of some games just getting pulled.
Yeah.
For other reasons, not necessarily for not working. Mm-hmm. Those are like the play at your own risk. Always. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's a big deal, for the Steam community, because then now all these people who wanted to play the game can't fucking buy it. You gotta wait. Right.
But it's one of those things like if I bought it, I don't think I would like. Let's say I did buy on PC, because especially since I know there is a fix gonna be coming.
Yeah.
Someone might fix it even before the company fixes it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things like, I don't know if I would want the refund just because like I'm not used to it on Steam.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I got the game. Like if it sucks or it doesn't work right on my computer,
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that kind of like, I don't know how I felt about the refund, because it's one of those things like so many people don't know how their PC will run a game.
Yeah.
So they just buy games willy nilly.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this should run.
It'll work.
And then it doesn't work, and it's like, oh,
fuck. Yeah, I guess you're different because I know a lot of people would be like, I want my money back right now. So the other thing about it too was that, and this is the most surprising thing, is that features that are available on the console version are not available on the PC version.
What do you mean?
Like as far as, for example, like the whole game takes place in rain, by the way. It's raining that whole night. It takes place in one night.
Just like most of the Batman games.
Yeah,
they take place in a couple hours.
They take place in one night. They all do, if I'm not mistaken. I know for a fact, Origins takes place on Christmas night. I know that Asylum takes place in one night in the in the. I forgot about City. I'm pretty sure it's one night as well. Anyways, it's raining that night, and one of the cool effects is that water particles like gather up on Batman, and you can see it on his cape. You can see it's kind of glossing over because there's water accumulation and it splashes a little bit in this and that. That's not in the PC
at all. They're not gonna put it.
No, it wasn't. They're gonna put it now. They're gonna put it now because people are like, "Why isn't there water on his cape?" You know, which sounds like a stupid cosmetic thing, but it's kind of like
people like cosmetic things.
Yeah, they do. People really like graphics, but on top of that, it's just like it doesn't make any sense that it can work on a console that's weaker than a stronger PC. You know, so that doesn't make any sense. So they had a couple of those things, and I know they actually started rolling out some patches already. Like one
for
of
the
those,
people that were able to download it.
Yeah, the people that had it and decided not to refund it. But the whole point is nobody knew was going to be able to buy it until the game is 100% fixed.
Which is kind of unfortunate, especially if those are like I said, they prefer PC and that's what they use for their gaming.
Yeah,
They don't care about consoles.
Yeah, I mean it's the PCs are just better. Period. You know, but they always have the most issues. They always have the most issues.
Yeah, because games, like we said, they're not necessarily made directly for them.
Yeah, and it's not even if they were, it's not easy because everybody has so many different.
It's just like the
setups.
Android compared to Apple, where there's so many different Android products. You know, there's so many different styles of phones that certain apps won't work.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're right. Yeah. And as far as like. Apple is just iPhones.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you want to be able to play on iPhone. Like, they have 5.
Yeah.
You know, or 6 or whatever it is, different kind of phone.
It's just different versions of the same phone.
Whereas Android has, like, maybe a couple thousand.
Oh, yeah, here's LG, here's Samsung.
Here's that, like, Mexican brand.
Yeah. Like Android works on it, but it's just, this might not work. No, that's true.
Oh, the App Store, it doesn't work on our phone, but you can have it is an Android.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so it is. I mean, even if you were developing for PC only, it's still an issue. But, you know, no excuse. They should have had that. And especially, like, if they hired a separate company, they had to have known it was messed up. I don't know why they think it's a good idea to release. If they don't know that it's messed up, then they really have a shit department.
And it's one of those things, they probably did know it was messed up. They just didn't think it would be as big a shitstorm as they thought it was, as it ended up being. But I mean, once they realized that, we're probably gonna need a little bit more time, they should have been like, all right, we'll let them know that we're gonna have to delay.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand why you should just delay it.
Because it's like, that's going to get you bad PR.
But worse PR is going to be this. Yeah. This is worse than that, you know? So just delay it and then have them come out on consoles.
Have the people cry for a little bit, you know?
Either way, you know what all the PC people are going to be saying in the comments is just like, oh, I'll just wait for the real version until, you know, like they PC people are used to waiting. That's fine.
Half-Life 3? It's still coming out.
Yeah. But, you know, moving to the actual game, though, you played it and I played it.
Yeah, you finished it.
Yeah.
I unfortunately didn't get the chance to play for the channel.
Yeah.
So I was just playing it. I was playing it on my own time.
All salty. You're just like, I don't even. You don't even want to play anymore.
Yeah, but it was. So I didn't get very far. So I guess we're gonna kind of just pick.
Well, it's just thoughts and impressions. Like first, like how did it feel? Did it feel good, smooth?
So far,
did you enjoy
the
playing
combat.
it?
I mean, honestly, the combat doesn't feel too much different.
This is spoiler free, by the way. We're gonna be spoiler free as we don't want to ruin the story for everybody.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to just keep it to a spoiler minimum.
There might be some small stuff, but nothing like story spoiler wise.
Yeah.
So the combat feels the same. There are some new things that you can do. The coolest thing I think I noticed right away was that you can, like, while you're, I don't remember if this was another game in the other games, but like when you can catapult yourself really easily.
Yeah.
Like while you're grappling.
Like triple A.
Yeah, triple A hold, and then whoosh. And then the car was really cool.
Yeah, that's the main difference in this game is the car, and I think it's a really good addition. But
yeah, but it just shows more that I just suck at driving. You know?
Yeah, yet again, more evidence.
Yes, that I'm a horrible.
One thing I didn't like about the car is I wish that you can. This is little complaint, but there's two modes. There's a driving mode, and then there's like a tank mode,
and you can move side to side in that mode.
Yeah, so in order to go to tank mode, you gotta hold L trigger, and I wish that it was just a toggle. I wish it was just a button that you toggled, and then like the power slide is with like X or something like that. I played it on PlayStation, so I don't know. It's square. You know?
Yeah. I think it was X. You're right. It was.
So it's one of those things where I was like, why couldn't that just be L? Like so I can just power slide, you know, and let
I don't know. I really liked it where it was because it would have been really weird if it was up here for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess, or at least give me the option to change it or something, like, because to me it just feels natural just to be able to power slide.
Every game had customizable,
right? Like how?
This is completely off topic, but Shovel Knight has you can change almost all the controls. I just granted that's an indie game.
Yeah.
Why can't I just make whatever fucking controls I want? Yeah. Why do I have to play by your fucking rules? You know?
Yeah, there has to be some sort of programming thing. Because every game, even games that let you change it, they have presets. They don't let you change it, you know, reconfigure however you want.
I don't like it on the left one. I want it on the right trigger. Can I just please? It'll make it so much easier.
Please, God.
Because there's just some, for some games, granted, because I use these, these are your triggers. But for some games, it just feels weird, the way, for example, a platformer. Yeah. Sometimes it just feels weird when you have to press, one of the triggers plus A. It just doesn't feel natural. Yeah, if I was on the other side, though, it'd be 100% fine.
Yeah. That should be number one thing. I thought they were going to have that for these. Honestly, I thought Xbox One and PS4 were going to have that. I don't know. I understand why not.
I guess we'll have to wait for the $150 controller.
Yeah, for real. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Xbox, the Elite controller.
Yeah, PlayStation is going to have one too, I bet.
Yeah, they're working on it after they saw that. But anyways, the thing about the tank too, the Batmobile is really cool. It moves fast. It's just really fun to drive around the world and just because it's indestructible. It can run over fucking buildings. You
can.
I mean, obviously you can die.
That's something that just bothered me just real quick. You can just like run over people and they're fine.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, they're not. They're not.
Dead, yeah.
But I just broke Batman's one rule.
Yeah,
they're gone.
Yeah, and it happens often because sometimes there's just like a bunch of people on the road for no damn reason because they're running away, and then you run over like 20 of them, and it's just like, okay.
And then they just stand back up like, what, Batman?
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I thought when I first ran them over, I thought they were gonna be like end game, like you killed somebody.
Yeah.
You know, and then I know that bothers a lot of Batman's fans too, because there's other moments in the game where you kill people or like people die and you don't do anything about it. No, you don't kill anybody, but like people die and you're just like whatever, like you know, that's fine. These people are all deceased. Like what the fuck. But yeah, the thing about the Batmobile though. And you haven't gone all the way through the game, so you don't know, but the Batmobile tank battles pretty much replaced all boss battles. And that's where I think they really messed up. Like,
I don't even want to play anymore.
All the Arkham games have had boss battles, and for all the shit that people give Origins to me had the best boss battles. It had some really memorable, fun boss battles. Even though the game wasn't as good as the other two, the boss battles were really fun. This one, there's honestly, I think maybe 2 or 3 boss battles, and they're mediocre boss battles. None of them are like really memorable. Some people complained about the boss battles in Origins and thought that they were just cheesy and stupid. But
that's what we want.
Yeah, I thought
that's what a boss battle was.
I know, like a boss battle never makes any sense. Like in itself, it doesn't make sense.
Even within the final boss battle.
Yeah,
the only real boss battle, and it's like completely different game you're playing.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one thing that really bothered me. Is just like the tank battles are fun, but then after a while, it's like, all right, is this like another fucking tank battle? Really? Like,
you know what bothered me? This isn't spoiling anything, but the fucking character missions the story missions that we supposedly had. the supposed story missions. I'm like, where's the story?
Oh, the story gets better.
I mean, for each character. I'm saying for the new characters, like the Harley Quinn and Red Hood.
Oh, the DLC. Oh, yeah, dude. Because
like, I understand there was a kind of a freebie thing, but I'm like,
well, I'm sure they're gonna charge people in the future. So here is another business part aspect of it is you had to pre-order. You had to pre-order the game anywhere, and you would get the Harley Quinn. You had to pre-order at GameStop to get the Red Hood, and they're called story packs. Now, in the actual game, they're under this thing that's called episodes. But like they're both
Arkham episodes, I think.
Yeah, and they're both literally
15 minutes.
15, 20. Like, you can beat them in 10 minutes once you know what you're doing.
And
like,
you know what? I wouldn't have even minded if they were that short if I can use the characters like free roam.
Yeah, but you can't. Like, you can't use them free roam. So it is.
So they're just there. So you have to replay that mission a couple times.
So it's just and the thing is, the Red Hood, dude, that it's such a good character. Like, he's such a beast. Like, you want to have a whole game.
Have you seen Under the Red Hood, right?
Yeah, I saw the best scenes of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
You need to watch it. By far one of my favorite animated movies of all time.
I fell asleep. I mean, like, I started watching it and it was late, so that was a mistake. I fell asleep. I saw the first like 20-30 minutes. After that, I just went back to watch all the cool, like, especially the Joker scene, which everybody always talks about, you know, and
all this, every scene in that movie is fucking amazing, like shit.
The greatest movie ever made.
The greatest animated movie, I can hands down say that's my favorite.
But yeah, Red Hood,
Jason Todd,
he's a beast in the DLC. So it sucks that you only get to play 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, so I mean, granted, they're probably gonna have story packs later on as DLC.
Now, yeah, the thing is, I hope they're not like this. I hope that, because I know, for example, I know that they confirmed Batgirl, but I'm thinking that's an actual, like, 1-2 hour DLC.
You think so?
Like, an actual story. This one, these were literally, like, now we're not exaggerating. It's literally 15 minutes long.
One level?
Yeah, it's just one quick level. You just do that and you're done. That's it. So, there's nothing more to that.
Harley's was she's really cool too.
Oh, she looks.
Her takedown, instead of being silent, like, you can't silent take down anyone.
I wasn't looking at the takedown. She looks good in this game. She really does. She looks a lot better than she had, and she's looked good before anyway. But yeah, back to the main story, which is the tank. The Batmobile's cool, but that gets a little repetitive. The story of the game is good. Not giving anything away, but it does have a lot of plot holes where you're kind of like,
it's Batman. It's a comic book.
Yeah, no, but still, it's just like there has to be a, like, okay, like, why?
Don't worry, they'll explain it in the Batgirl DLC. they'll put all the plot holes.
I don't know how to say it without giving anything away, so I won't. But I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of moments where you're like, but wouldn't he have just, you know, like, you'll find yourself saying that a lot of times, like, why didn't he just, you know, like,
yeah, well, I find that myself saying that with Batman in general. You know, just like, you're just like, why that? Like, why did this have to happen? And actually, with a lot of superheroes, just like,
yeah,
why?
and like everything, Superman is breaks everything, because he's just like, why didn't he just call Superman? You know, like, they just tell, like, bro, I need your help to.
What was it? The bad Batman? Like, you can. He should just call him to kill Bane. Like,
yeah,
it's over. No bad guys. That's it.
Yeah, just finish it off, bro. We're good. That's why you can't have Superman in any lore, because he's too strong.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think he's as strong as he needs to be.
Yeah,
that's his power.
Yeah.
That's his super ability. He's as strong as he needs to be, which is kind of what makes him so boring.
Yeah.
At least to some people, me.
Me in particular.
Me.
But yeah, overall the game is really good. Combat feels good.
Yeah,
it's you can't mess up. It's the same combat as it was before. They added little tricks in here, a couple gadgets. Same thing, feels good.
Yes.
Don't fix it if it ain't broke.
Yes. Don't change it.
Don't change it. Story is Batman's story. It's fun, and I like. It has a lot of content, which I always like. It has a lot of side missions, and like if you want to get the true ending, like you got to beat it 100%, which is something that I always liking. Some people hate that in games, but I just think that if it's a good game, you're gonna want to do it 100%.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I didn't like is how they set up the side missions. And this is really clear in the first half of the game. Like they'll be like, okay, you're doing the main story. The main story is like some shit's going down in the main story. Like, you know, like,
oh, do you want to take some time off?
Yeah.
From the bomb that's about to explode in 10 minutes to go do this real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
I hate that so much in especially with this game because it happens in one night. It's only one night. There's no way he has time to go do like 10 Riddler riddles. Like shit is going down right now.
He's the world's greatest detective. He finds it.
He has no time at all, and that, like, to me is one of those things that it's not gonna ruin the game for you, but it's like every time I hear Riddler again and like during the main mission, I just roll my eyes and I'm just like, bro, like not right now. Like, I don't got time for this right now. All right, that's one thing I like. Something like The Witcher that has a bunch of side missions. They do the same thing, but the difference is that takes place over the course of weeks. Yeah. Where it's not like, oh, I gotta go right now, you know. Whereas this takes place in one night. It's kind of a narrative breaking thing where it's like, Alfred will tell several times. He'll tell Batman like, oh yeah, well there's some firefighters missing. You know, like maybe you should go check. Like, what?
Is there no one else?
Yeah, like if I don't save the city, there will be no firefighters anyway.
Bruce, they're missing. Do you not understand? Like they're not here. And then it turns out that they're in like the next room. Yeah. No one looked. It's like you spent 20 minutes going to different buildings. Like no.
All these pussy ass Gotham City PD. Like,
see, this is what happens when you have Batman. You get lazy.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, Batman will take care of it.
Oh, people are dying.
So please, developers, don't do that. Please, that just
make your game take longer. If you
like, just put the side missions, like go, like make a terminal wherever you go and just like look at side missions, you know. But don't bring
interrupt.
it into, yeah, and I understand they did that because they want you to do everything.
Yeah,
but
they should do it just like I think it's Lego Batman. They do all the side missions after you beat the game.
Yeah.
You
because
know what I mean?
People who really love doing side missions will do them regardless, you know?
Granted, I think you can go to them during the actual game. Yeah. But they don't interfere.
They don't throw it in your face, that's important to me. But other than that, I would say, like, I would give the game a 9. Maybe a 9.5.
Yeah, I'm still not done with it. So, I mean, still, like I said, if the boss battles are as disappointing as you say...
They are, bro.
So my as good as the game is, that's kind of gonna take a big chunk out of that 10.
Yeah. I don't know. It's true. But I really love the story. I don't know. It's just we don't want to give anything away, so we'll just leave it there. Okay, the next big controversy. Yes. Actually, this one was bigger in your world than the Batman controversy.
People were saying
you have a lot of opinions on this. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, people were very mad.
This is like you can tell, like Javi, like, you know, man, the politics right now, blah blah. Yeah, fucking Destiny. Like he'll just like. If you bring up Destiny, he'll be on.
And we bring it up every week.
He's like,
we brought it. I think that's our most consistent.
You're
since
like,
the podcast started.
Education is falling apart in the United States, Javi. What do you think about that? Who cares? I don't give a shit.
So explain to us what the controversy is.
Okay, well, there's
far as you know, what you know.
Okay, so there's two controversies. The first one is The Taken King is coming out on September 15th.
11th?
11th?
No, 15th. I think you're right.
Yeah, no, they're not never releasing anything again on September 11th.
I remember there's actually a game. I think Nintendo's releasing a game on September 11th, but they're releasing it on the 11th of September. Like that's how they worded it. I think it was a Nintendo game. I remember I saw something at E3 where they're like, this game released or whatever it was, like the 11th of September.
Maybe because they're Japanese.
Maybe.
I don't see an American company.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, with the way you said it, like, but they, like, I just noticed that
they reworded it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, smart.
Yeah, it was just, dude. That's crazy to me. Okay. Anyways, they had an interview with Luke Smith, who is
creative director
at Bungie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the lead, something.
Now, the whole thing is the Taken King is coming out, so there's going to be a whole big DLC expansion, not DLC expansion.
It is a DLC, but they market it as an expansion.
Well, I mean, it is because you're getting new areas. I mean, it's an expansion.
Yeah.
Like you're getting parts of Jupiter's moons, like supposedly.
Right. Yes. This is also supposed. We don't know exactly what.
Yeah, but I mean that's
because the other ones we were expecting, the other two expansions we were expecting more stuff.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting missions in reverse.
Yeah.
Missions in the middle.
Yeah.
Of an old mission.
And then you're also getting the new classes, subclasses.
3 new classes and a new raid for sure this time.
Yeah, so like it's bigger than House of Wolves or
the Dark Below.
The Dark Below, clearly. And the thing is, the way they're marketing it is it's going to be part of a collect. So you can buy the Taken King on itself.
Yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, you have to own the other 2 DLCs.
Okay.
So you can buy the Taken King by itself. I forget. I think it's $40.
Yeah.
But you have to have the other 2 DLCs.
Okay.
They're also releasing a Taken King bundle that has the Taken King plus the 2 DLCs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you
for $60.
Fucking lost me. Okay.
Yeah. So in case you didn't, for some reason, buy them before, and you're like, because it's one of those things like, why would you buy it now if you haven't been playing it for the last 2?
Yeah.
But in case you haven't, there you go. And then there's a collector's edition, which is kind of like a really cool Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, so you're gonna get the main game,
the original Destiny.
Yeah.
The 2 DLCs that came, and the new Taken King, plus some in-game cosmetic items and some actual physical stuff.
Okay, now here's a controversy. This extra in-game stuff you can at the time you could only get through the collector's edition.
Yes.
You cannot buy them separately. Okay, and then they asked Luke Smith, why are they doing that?
Yeah, it was like they poked fun at him, or not poked, but they were asking about the emotes, which in case people don't know, it's just the things assigned to your D-pad, the dance, the sit, the wave, that stuff. Exactly, the robe.
By the way, that was like the coolest thing of the first week. Everybody had videos of that. Okay, and then Luke Smith said the most craziest thing that gamers have ever heard. Yeah, apparently, there is such. You would think that the world was gonna end. Like he said, if I show you, I didn't hear. Okay, listen, I didn't hear.
But this is how it sounded.
Okay, yeah.
This is how we imagined it would have sounded.
Exactly. So I didn't hear this interview. I don't even know if there's an audio of it. I just read what it was said. So this is how I imagine he said it. It's something along these lines. If I were to show you the emotes right now, the emotes, you would throw money at the screen.
What a
right? And of course, the gamers are just like one tier, just like
this is what the gaming companies have become.
This is Bungie. Like this is you're trying to But the funniest thing to me, I laughed when I read that. I was like, yeah, I probably would. Like like shit, fuck. Because we always joke about just any other games like that, like.
I don't mean you joke about it. I've actually gone out and bought stuff for games,
That's what I'm saying. Like I would. Like the thing is, I don't play those type of games to begin with.
Granted, a lot of them are the ones that you can buy cosmetics. A lot of times they're free to play stuff. Like if you want it now, pay for it now. This is more of along the lines of like camos for guns for Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Something that you don't necessarily need.
Yeah.
I think at least, but it does like you can buy. It's gonna give you a boost in experience. I'm sure there's been stuff like that before where you can buy that in other games,
And like I was saying, like just in Call of Duty, if they have those variant guns that are better than the original guns, they're different. And like if you were to tell me right now, pay $5 and you can have this gun instead of me having to freaking grind all the way to Prestige 15. I would throw money at the screen. I would say, where can I swipe? Can we attach a credit card swiper to this?
But the problem was that there was no way to get them in game.
Yeah.
You couldn't just like go to someone and do a quest, and there was no way to pay for them.
Yeah. So like it was, you had to buy the collector's edition, and of course there is an outcry about it, just about business practices at Bungie and Activision. Of course, people try to say like, "Oh, it's not Bungie, it's Activision." You know what?
It's both.
Yeah, you gotta. That's one thing that bothers me. Like, stop making Bungie to be the angels. Like, Bungie fucked up a lot too. Okay, like I don't care. They're like, oh, they signed a contract with Activision. Well, they signed the contract, right? Nobody like.
I mean, I didn't know Activision was the only other company besides Microsoft.
Yeah,
you know? I didn't know it was two.
Yeah, like if not, every other company would have paid them any amount to have Bungie.
Yeah, what is it? The Insomniac. They're partnered with Microsoft.
Yeah.
But they still have full creative rights over their game.
Yeah.
You know, that's find someone like that.
Yeah, exactly,
you know?
right? So yeah, don't absolve Bungie. You know, like they're just as guilty. If you wanted to blame them for this or any other stuff they does, don't absolve them. They're half the problem. But anyways, there was a big outcry about it, and of course, they reacted to it and they said, you know, it was out of context. That's not the way he meant it, which I'm sure is true because like he might have. The person who was interviewing him could have been like a good friend and just jokingly like, man, if I showed you these right now, you would throw money at the screen, you know, like. But when you read it, it just looks really bad. Okay, so then what did they do? They changed what they said.
There was a recent the weekly update where now those in-game things. I think it was. Let me remember what it was. It was the emotes, shader.
Yeah.
Fucking class item. I think that was it.
Yeah, just extra stuff.
Yeah, extra stuff. Not super necessary. Now you can buy them if you want separately without having to buy the collector's edition.
Yeah.
For $20.
For $20. And of course, and then after that, they said that there is another outcry.
Yeah, people saying like, why?
Like, $20. This should be $5. Yeah, probably. Probably. But you don't have to buy it.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. People are always like, that's not an argument you should make. They should be. I mean, it's so hard to put like money. I've spent. Granted, these were free to play games. Over $300 on free to play games.
Yeah, yeah.
On one, like that's just one of them, and I play multiple of them. You know.
I've spent. Granted, I don't play it anymore. I've spent like $140 on Clash of Clans.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, like over maybe like.
Do you need that? Does it help?
No, I mean obviously like it was one of those like I just want it now. I just want it now.
Yeah, but this is this is our cosmetic stuff, and it's one of those things like. You hear about things like other games that they sell, for example, just Call of Duty, they sell the camos.
Yeah.
You know, it's like $2 for 5, I think, or some shit. I don't know. I've never bought them.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of them are more expensive. Some of them are less expensive. You got games like I think Elder Scrolls. You can buy a mount for like over $20, I believe.
Okay.
You can buy a pet for like $20 as well, you know?
Yeah.
And then you, of course, have World of Warcraft, where I've seen mounts and stuff go like, granted, that's not free either, never mind.
Yeah.
That's a different, that's its own game too, and it's, what is it, like, the most expensive one, I think, it was like almost 300.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And people pay it. Yeah.
But it's one of those things like, why do these people want to pay for it if they're not enjoying the game? Because all these people are also saying like the content was cut, which obviously there's something wrong there because we were shown a different game, just like Watch Dogs, just like a lot of games we were shown a different game, and that's not what we got. But if you're not enjoying it, why are you still playing it? You know?
Yeah, that's
like because the people that pay for the World of Warcraft stuff are highly invested in World of Warcraft.
Yeah. They have a lot of time, hours, and money into it.
The people that like the guns in Call of Duty have, besides extra money, a lot of time spent in Call of Duty, and they care about the way they look.
Exactly.
Advanced Warfare, one of the it's almost like how it's gonna get bad. I was like, shit, it's gonna get like. Imagine me, like I love customizing shit. Like it's gonna be bad when people start buying just for like the royalty gear.
Yeah.
Like they want to look a certain way, and if the option's there, they're gonna do it. You know. Obviously, it's not for everyone, and then everyone wants to still do it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I understand, but these people obviously spend a lot more time. I bought the collector's edition for Destiny. Yeah. And which is actually sold out. Yeah. Which is crazy. I was like, oh, who's buying it? You know?
Yeah.
Who are these people that...
All the people who were complaining, they were complaining as they were in line to pre-order. Yeah, I think in general, look, I understand bad business practices is bad for the industry. It's bad for the consumer. Pre-orders. I get all that, but my main thing is just why complain about all these things if You don't like the game supposedly, and then on top of that is like the one thing that you should and you're free to complain to in my eyes, like that you should complain about is the fact that the initial game wasn't good. Not that it wasn't good, but it was short on content. You know what I mean? Like,
I still spent almost 300 hours on the game.
Right? I mean, so you personally liked it. Now, other people who didn't like that initial game, then you shouldn't be playing it anymore. Like me, I was just like, this game sucks. I'm not playing this shit. You know, like, this is it. So I stopped playing it. Yeah. I wasn't fucking kept playing it for 6 months and just like, oh, this is so stupid. Like, you know, it doesn't make any sense to me why it matters. To me, the rule of thumb, because like, look, the companies have to make money, and it's a business. You got to make money. You got to make more money. You know,
like, granted, I'm glad we don't know any about like what other businesses, like the stuff they do. You know,
yeah.
Like, oh, you think that's good business? And then we look at it, it's like, they're literally funding a warlord in Africa. You know, like.
Yes, but like, and then the rule of thumb to me about that is, and what you just mentioned, if it's cosmetic, they can literally charge any fucking price they want. They could charge $1,000 if it's cosmetic and it doesn't affect anything in the game. They can charge any amount of money, and that's not a bad business practice.
How do you feel about stuff like EXP boosts and stuff? Because you know a lot of games sell that separately too.
Yeah, I don't mind that either, because either way, it's not like you're gonna do something that you can't eventually do. Mm-hmm. That's the main thing. Even with the free to play games, it's just like I was saying with Clash of Clans. You build a building and it takes 10 days to build.
I want it now. Here's $20.
Here it is. The point is, you can wait 10 days and you'll get it. You know what I mean?
Plants vs Zombies had a similar thing. People were complaining about the transactions. Which I understand, microtransactions are.
Yeah, I don't love microtransactions. I'm not saying I do, but at the end of the day, like, the game itself is good enough where it doesn't matter that they have all the little extra shit. You know, that's the whole thing is the main game. Did you feel like you had a complete experience? Yes, then good. And if so, then keep buying the shit. And if it's too expensive, don't buy it. Like, if it's $20, don't buy it. You know what I mean? They're gonna bury themselves if people don't buy it because they're overpricing things.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They know the demand is there.
Exactly. That's the point. So like my whole point is, like, it's just funny to me, and it gets boring to hear about people complaining about that in particular. You know, I mean, I understand that you can complain about stuff and let your thoughts be known, but it's kind of like, that's gaming. That's what it is now. Like, we were saying, like, 20 years ago, I was playing Ocarina of Time. If you would have told me, here, pay me $5, and instead of just having the green, red, and blue tunic, here's a gold tunic, and like $5, like, I would have paid it then. You know, it's not like gaming was any better then. It's just that they couldn't do it.
I replayed Wind Waker just so I can wear the pajama the whole way through.
Yeah, like, you would have paid for it then. But why? Because the main game was really good. It was a complete experience. I liked it enough where I'd be willing to pay for it. If you didn't like it, why the fuck would you pay for it anyways?
And for me, for Destiny, you know, the main reason I talk about the cut content is because that's what I heard. Yeah, I wasn't following Destiny. Like, I knew about it, and I was on, like, I wanted to play it. Yeah. But I wasn't looking up videos they had, like, what are they called, like the developer things. I wasn't watching that every time they came out.
The vid docs.
The vid docs. Yeah, I wasn't watching those all the time they came out. So when I played the game, I was like, okay, yeah, the story, whatever. Yeah. But then playing with friends, you know, playing the Crucible, I have over like a week of playtime on the Crucible. Yeah. And that's my most time spent. Yeah. I love the core mechanic of the game, which
it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah,
really
it's good. one of the best shooters I've ever played. Yeah. But the guns are stupid, which kind of ruin it for a lot of people. Yeah. But I still find it fun enough to play that.
I agree. I think the mechanics are godlike in Destiny. Like, just the feel is so good. There's nothing like it. But like I said, if you're gonna complain, I think the thing is, if they cut content out, they did. Like, I don't care what anybody says, they cut content. Right. Period. You know, and that's what you should complain about. And people did complain about it.
Also, they should complain about the fact that the digital collector's edition is the same price as the physical.
Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad business practice. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're gonna send you the physical stuff, which I don't think they are.
Yeah.
But that was weird.
But to me, there's no reason to complain about cosmetic stuff. It's like they can charge, and they can make it exclusive.
Of course, in the wake of all this bad press, they also have the fact that they have a deal with Red Bull.
Yeah.
Or is that what you like, a promotion?
They have a promotional deal with Red Bull.
Yes. So there's also, in the wake of this controversy, there's also the fact that they didn't announce, it was leaked a while ago.
Yeah.
But that they have a Red Bull promotion.
Yeah. That's fine with me if it was just XP boost.
Yes. So one of the things you're getting is so we actually have a can.
Yeah.
You buy Red Bull, and on the tab it's gonna have this code.
Yeah.
When you go to the website, I already used the code. It's gone. It's actually, which is kind of cool. It's like there.
Oh, okay.
I was like, where was I supposed to find it? You know.
So there's a code here.
So one of the things you get is a one-time use 50% experience.
That's fine. Whatever.
It would be good. There's going to be a new level cap. Good to level up. Get your early, whatever, the head start on people. You know.
Yeah.
Fine. But the other thing they have is they're going to have an exclusive mission tied to it.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, it was. I was 100% mad about it.
Yeah.
Until I read that the mission is a time exclusive.
It's still bullshit.
It's still bullshit, but it's just like the whole thing with PlayStation, you know?
Yeah.
You know, people complain that, we bought the same game, but Sony paid, whatever amount of money to help them out, and get a 1 year basically exclusive mission, or was it strike and weapons?
Yeah.
You know?
I guess you can look at it two ways. The first way I would say is, okay, it's more cut content.
Right.
More content that was cut. The other way you can look at it is, do you want to buy this mission for $2? That's it. Like
whatever the price of the Red Bull.
Yeah, like whatever. It's this $250. Let's say this $250 for this Red Bull. Like, are you willing? So basically, it's DLC in a way. It's just like, do you want to buy this mission
for $2?
For $2.50. Like, when you look at it that way, like, I don't think people would complain.
Yeah,
like,
granted, as far as I know, it's only available at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And only in the U.S.
Yes.
So you'll be able to play the mission as soon as Taken King comes out.
Yeah.
It will be available to everyone beginning of next year.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's a very.
It's just like that is just getting so complicated. You know what? Too, I was thinking about this when we were talking about it earlier. Was the first game that started doing stuff like this that really bothered me was Assassin's Creed 3. About all these different, like, they didn't have like this. Buy, because Call of Duty does buy Mountain Dew or Doritos
for EXP boost
and get EXP boost, fine. But like, I remember Assassin's Creed was the first one where they had so many different editions that there is no one edition where that you can just buy that and have everything. Like, they didn't have like one ultimate edition where here's it is and you bought everything. They had like, the revolutionary edition, the blah edition, blah blah blah. This is how this feels. Talking about the whole thing about like, okay, there's a digital collector's edition, but you're not going to get the physical stuff. The physical collector's edition, you can buy the Taken King by itself, but you have to have the other two things. If you wanted that extra mission, you got to buy the Red Bull can. You get an EXP boost, but you also get the extra mission. It's just like, can I buy a package that comes with a Red Bull? Like,
I'm sure they're probably, with all the outrage, they're going to include that code.
Yeah, like, can this be like attached to it?
Yeah,
like, you just get the game and just like attach, like,
that's the new collector's edition. It's gonna include a fucking Red Bull.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah, that to me that's if it was just EXP boost, fine. Like, in itself, it's not bad that it has the mission,
right?
But I can just see where it's bad business because the consumers are like, what the like I hate Red Bull, man.
Yeah, if you hate Red Bull, you're not gonna have a good time.
Monsters, man. Red Bull. If it was Monsters, I would have been like, yeah, like, yeah.
Started playing Destiny.
Yeah, like, yeah. I have EXP. I have so much EXP, I'll be level capped by the time it's just in one game, dude. But speaking of the bad business practices, so we talked about Batman, we talked about Destiny, and all the stuff that's been going on. There's been this past year, it's been like a hellstorm of all this stuff.
Yeah, over the last 2 years almost.
Yeah. Do you think that all this can eventually lead to another video game market crash like it was in 1983? Is that time coming? Are consumers getting so fed up with all this?
How long have we been hearing about pre-ordering is gonna ruin video games?
Past 10 years.
I don't see that hurting it to that point. Granted, yeah, it has damaged, not only the business but the consumer relationship,
Yeah.
But I mean, and then even stuff with this, it's just like, I don't think video games were as established back then as well.
They definitely weren't. Weren't.
Granted, we have a lot of bad games.
Yeah, we do.
Like, I'm trying to think of a game that's just like horrible.
That a lot of people buy.
Like, that's a AAA, like, because that's the thing. Back then, everything was AAA.
Yeah.
If it was
everything was single A back then.
Well, if it was a game, it was top of the line, even though it sucked.
Yeah, because it was just so amazing that there was games.
Exactly.
It's just like, shit, I could do this.
But now it's just like, there's like so many different tiers.
Yeah.
And even within those tiers, there's like games that are actually still like good,
Yeah.
Like, or that set themselves apart from that tier that make it big. So I don't see how something like this, how the pre-ordering, I mean, it might cause some backlash, but that's about it.
Yeah, I was thinking about this because I've heard other people talk about this same topic for the past couple of months, just because like all these bad business practices. But at the end of the day, I think gaming is so ingrained into the culture and so ingrained into like that's.
Can you
what
imagine withdrawal?
Yeah, no, like that's what it is to be a kid in America. Like,
I think in a lot of places.
Yeah, well, I mean, I probably,
but we live
in America.
Let's be specific, California.
Yeah, like, what it is to be a kid in California. Even if a kid is active, even if a kid is playing baseball or basketball, they still come home and they have an Xbox. Like they still have a PlayStation.
At least a lot of them do.
Yeah, I mean, they have something. Like, it's just so ingrained into the culture where I just don't see how it could cause a crash. Like these bad business practices, like it's still to this day the main consumer are teenagers. They don't care. Like they all the people who are on these posts complaining are like 20-something sad, like
working in political science.
Yeah, like just like really, like I don't think the teenagers aren't sitting there going like, man, I gotta buy this Red Bull. Like, fuck.
It's like, wait, Mom, I need Red Bull.
Yeah. I just don't see the market crashing. It's such a big industry now. Like you said, back in 1983, that was before Nintendo. Just say it like that. It was like pre-Nintendo. It was a different time.
Yeah, and they were still trying to copy arcades.
Yeah, that was their main thing, is that they wanted to make the arcade equivalent experience. And that's where they messed up, was because they started releasing all these games that sucked. That they supposedly like, I'm buying Pac-Man, but it's nothing like it was in the arcade. It was just garbage.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't see that happening. Like I've heard people argue that. I think the AAA industry can fall apart. I think that could fall apart. But gaming in itself as a whole thing is not falling apart.
Some of these indie games are so popular.
Because like even adults nowadays are getting into video games.
Yeah.
Not the ones that were raised and are now adults playing video games, but like adults that have played a video game in their life, like seeing their kids playing Xbox One, and they're like, "Hey, that looks like fun."
It's just
the whole family's playing.
It's one of those things where it's so.
That's a Spanky, by the way. They're like, was that God?
I should have just like moved my mouth.
I just looked up like, thank you, Jesus. Like,
I should have just like while he was talking. But yeah, he is right. it's one of the things like it's kind of like the movie industry, you know. It's like that's how big it's gotten. Like, it's not something that's gonna go away. Like,
dude,
how many bad movies are there all the time, and how many controversies with movies are there? Like, I find it like fucking what's worse is like when you like, you know, the whole like race thing in movies where like they'll completely cast someone that's like, why can not just cast someone that's actually that race?
Yeah,
you know? Something like that is definitely a bigger issue than, oh, you need to pay $20 for these cosmetics.
Yeah, and then in those same type of issues surface in video games too. It's like, why aren't there more diverse? Why is everybody in The Witcher white? You know, like that's what people complained about. Of course, it makes sense with the time. I don't want to get into that, but it's like The Witcher takes place in a specific European place, if you want to say, like, obviously everybody's white there. Like, you know, it's not like a racist. It's racist. Like,
there's racist connotations in there.
But I
Which
think
there probably are.
It's much like America. I think that's why I said I think the AAA industry can fall apart because there's these big companies taking huge shots. They're taking home run shots to try to make like millions and millions of dollars, and they've forgotten about like the middle class. They forgot about the mid-level game. You know, like before you used to have a game just like Battletoads, like, or something. You would have like a good Star Wars port, like something that wasn't like gonna break your budget, but it wasn't just like a low end game either. You know, it was just kind of like a middle road game.
It wasn't those like handheld Tiger games.
That's low end. That's really low end. Yeah, and like now it's like you either have indies or you have these AAAs, and there's a lot less people taking kind of the middle road. Like I think who's the developer right now? I forgot their name. The ones they're making an indie game, but it's the spiritual successor of Banjo Kazooie.
Oh shit!
You know what I mean?
I was about to say Comset, but no, it's something. Yeah, but they're making ukulele.
Ukulele, right?
And then there's the guy that's making the spiritual successor to Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, him.
And then Mighty Number 9,
which is spiritual successor to
Mega Man. And then
no,
Shovel Knight. There's a bunch of games that.
Okay, but I'm saying like those three particular games, not Shovel Knight, those other three, because those three are big franchises, but they're being made in an indie way. I would consider those middle of the road games. They're not indie. Like Ukulele is not an indie game at all, you know, because it's a established franchise formula, you know, so like it's not gonna be really an indie game, but at the same time it's not a AAA budget, $10 billion budget, you know.
But it might make that much.
Yeah, exactly. So like I think that's what's been lost, and like that's what we need to get back. And I think that's what's happening with all these developers who are hating this whole AAA thing, and that's why you're seeing them like the Castlevania, the original maker. Him saying like, I want to do it on my own, you know. I don't want to do it with with the company. Politics. Yeah, like I don't want to make this $10 million, like I don't know how much, like $200 million game that might make $210 million. You know, I want to make the way I want to make it. Take chances, creative chances.
And that's the thing that people need to understand with like the companies. They can't necessarily take those chances.
Yeah, they have to play it safe. You know?
Yeah, as safe as possible. I mean, they'll throw out. I mean, what was Destiny's budget? $500 million or whatever. You know. You know, I'm just saying.
Okay,
like,
but exactly.
that game made the money back.
Yeah, exactly.
And granted, that was one of those games that's like it did surprise. I mean, not surprise them. They were expecting to make that money. They were playing it safe.
Yeah.
But it ended up not being good for everyone. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But that's the funny thing about it is that they're not taking any creative chances, but they're really taking a big chance money-wise, because if the game doesn't make it back, they're going to lose a lot of money. You know what I mean? And by them not taking creative... So Call of Duty is a perfect example. Like, they don't take a lot of creative chances because they have a tried and true formula, but they're spending a lot of money to make this game.
They're little by little, like, as they see the market of games changing a little bit from like, you know, the typical shooters to a little bit more, because I mean they've been making advanced shooters for a while now.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of started that.
Yeah.
Like, the big ones at least, and now they're really like changing it. Like, okay, can we push it this far? Okay,
yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
All right, now the next one, like we made money, like let's
yeah.
push it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because the next one's gonna have those. I don't know what they're called. The bow and all those stuff.
Yeah,
what are they called?
The specialist classes.
Specialist classes.
Yeah.
That is like that looks exactly like something out of Destiny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is out, and it is straight out of Destiny.
Yeah.
It's exactly what Destiny is. It really is. I think that's more of a creative.
I mean, it's not like it's like their own creative thought. It's just what they've actually decided to do with their content.
That's a big risk, I think. But that's Treyarch would do that. Whereas somebody like
Infinity Ward
with Ghost, they didn't take any chances. Like they didn't make one creative decision.
But
to
they
make
made
that
their
game.
money, so
But they made all their money back and some.
Yeah,
exactly.
So they're fine. They're good.
All you gotta do is make a new game, sort of, and then slap a Call of Duty label on it, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Whereas Treyarch will actually take risks. Like Treyarch with Black Ops 2 had different endings and different possibilities and stuff, and no other Call of Duty had that. So that's like they need to do more of that.
Yes.
More creative chances. And then the money will come afterwards. But I'm saying,
hopefully,
and like I'm saying, I think that's what's happening. Like I think the market corrects itself. So like people are shying away from these big AAA games, and you're gonna see more of these middle end games come back. Because all these great developers are going to want to make their own creative game.
They're going to want more creative freedom or less of a pressure of making their money back.
Yeah, exactly. And they're going to be developers that are experienced and can make a great game. The thing about indie developers is that a lot of them are new upstarts who haven't had a lot of experience making games. Now you have these...
They have experience working and doing... They probably made a bunch of games, but nothing... that made money, made them money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, now you're gonna have all these developers. What's the name of the guy from Mega Man that you love?
I just know his last name, Inafune.
Okay, and he's made Mega Man one of the biggest franchises in gaming, guaranteed first ballot Hall of Fame franchise, and now he's making his spiritual successor. This guy knows how to make games. This is not an indie game. I don't care how much it costs. He's worth the money. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, so there you go. Video game market isn't gonna crash, in my opinion.
At least we don't. As we hear tomorrow, video game market crash.
Activision, Blizzard, they all fall apart.
All the big four or whatever it is.
And one last point about that too is that I think gaming is so diverse now too. It'd be really impossible for it to fall apart because. Back then, you had two things. You had arcade shooters and platformers.
And puzzles.
A little bit, yeah, puzzles. I guess you Tetris and other stuff like that. Now you have MOBAs, shooters, arcade shooters, sports games, fighting games. Like,
shoot 'em up platformers.
Like, there's just 10,000 real-time strategy games, MMORPGs, RPGs. Like it's
just
so
multiplayer.
It's so diverse now where it's like you don't have to rely just on one genre. Like the shooter, maybe the shooter genre falls apart for a couple of years, but I just don't see the whole thing collapsing in on itself. But
at least not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, I don't see it. But anyways, guys, thanks for joining us this week. We'll be back next week with the Nerds with Glasses podcast. I have been your host, Knowledge.
And I'm Javi.
Peace out, that's guys. Spanky.
Oh, yeah. the voice of God.
The voice of God that has no face. All right, guys. Later.
Peace.